I grew up in Big Spring, a small West Texas town. It was a great place to be a kid, but about as far away from the world of yoga as you could possibly get. In my teenage years, I bought a yoga book from our local bookstore. Something about it just caught my eye. I was fascinated by it. The artwork, the yogis and postures I'd never seen before. It was obviously foreign, but something about it really struck me. For some reason, it took about 20 years after that before I began to finally practice yoga. In my 20s and early 30s, I jogged and lifted weights, but before long, I began experiencing lower back pain. I had heard that yoga was good for that, so I bought some DVDs and practiced some at home. And before long, started to take beginner classes. And that was a lot of fun. Still wasn't sure about pursuing yoga full-time, but each time I took a class, things got more interesting. Unfortunately, by this time my back was past the point of no return. I was experiencing excruciating sciatic pain down my right leg, and it turned out I had a ruptured disc between the L5 and S1 vertebrae, and it required surgery. Afterwards, the rehab consisted of, you got it, yoga poses. After that, that's when I got serious about physically pursuing the practice. My only intention at the time was to get some exercise and strengthen my back. I had no idea that within a couple of years my world was going to be rocked. Slowly, almost mysteriously, subtle changes began to occur in my psyche. I got to the point where I couldn't wait until my next yoga practice. It was stimulating, invigorating, and yet relaxing all at the same time, something I'd never experienced before. I knew that I was a long way from really tapping into the full potential of yoga, but I also knew that something very special was going on here. Advancement in the practice of yoga can take months or years, and that's okay. Starting out in yoga was difficult for me. I had some good teachers, but growth in the practice came very slowly. It literally took me years to get comfortable with some of the poses. Take this one for instance, Virabhadrasana 1, or Warrior 1. It's a full body pose that looks easy, but it took me forever to master. My teacher was always correcting and modifying my form. She'd say, extend the arms, pull your shoulders back, bring the biceps up by the ears, take your gaze up, relax your face, turn your pinkies in toward one another, keep the back foot turned out at a 45-degree angle, make the back leg straight and strong, face the hips forward, keep the front foot straight, bend the front knee, and don't forget to breathe. That was a lot to take in, but I stuck with it. She also had us do a resting position at the end of class. It's called Shavasana. You just lie there. I didn't understand. My story of discovering yoga is obviously not unique. A few of my friends had similar beginnings, including Sherry Cherokee.
I had a gym teacher that told me I was incredibly flexible, and so he was showing me different yoga poses. And for me back then, it was like yoga tricks. It was fun. And so I was just doing it just for the fun of it.
I actually started meditating in the Tibetan Buddhist or Vajrayana Buddhist tradition about a year before I ever took a yoga class. When I looked at what was going on, I was like, okay, my back hurts. This is supposed to help with that. I'm overweight. This is supposed to help with that. I'm angry. Again, this is supposed to really help with that in particular, because the meditation wasn't getting it done fast enough. I needed something more, and I went in and took a yoga class. I knew instantly that I liked it. It was great. Just the fiery of it, the fiery nature of it just really appealed to me.
I used to be a runner. I used to run marathons when I was in the Navy, and then I had a knee injury which prevented me from actively doing what I wanted to do in terms of my exercise and my health. And I had a practice of yoga, but it became much deeper and stronger after I stopped to run with the knee injury, and I really loved the practice. It gave me the cardio, it gave me all the benefits, mental, physical, and of course spiritual benefits, which I really hadn't explored a lot in the initial part of my practice, and so that really became my practice full time.
It came to me in my mid-30s, which is kind of old to start yoga. And it came after an accident, a car accident, which was a revolutionary car accident really, because it changed my life. My neck was really banged up, and I mean, I really shouldn't even be alive, but here I am. And I found my first yoga studio after a couple of chiropractors told me, you need to find something to release the muscles in your neck, and you might want to try yoga. For me, when I first started, it was to heal my neck, and hey, this is a pretty good workout. I'll just work out. But then something happened.
I know my current asana form is far from perfect. I have no illusions of appearing on the cover of a yoga magazine anytime soon. But after years of practice, my muscle memory takes over, and I'm able to get into these poses without really having to think about it, which frees my mind. Once I got to the point where I didn't have to expend so much mental energy just getting into a physical posture, I was ready to take the next step. And that's when things changed.